It is Wednesday, my dudes, like legitimately Wednesday, and time for an old man yapping. Because it's the beginning of October. The beginning of October is a special time. The 1st of October is a very, very important day because being the 1st of the month, it's the day that I change my hair tie for a new color, which I haven't done yet because it's still, I haven't been to bed yet. But yeah, when I get up, probably this afternoon, I'm gonna choose a new hair tie, and it's also the day that I change the water filter, which I already did. Now, I had somebody tell me over the course of the past week that yapping is African American vernacular English, and I'm not supposed to say it. Well, it's a good thing the name of this show is changing at the end of the month, but also no, we have used yapping for talking and yap as a slang term for the mouth since the early 1900s, and while it was explained that it's African American vernacular English because they said it in gangster rap in the 90s. Did they? I don't remember Schoolie D saying it. I don't remember Just Ice saying it, or Ice-T, or NWA, or Ice Cube, Tupac Shakur, Snoop, Biggie. I didn't hear people saying it. I didn't hear Tech Nine say it. I didn't hear DMX say it. Did they? I don't know. I don't feel like it actually was a big thing in gangster rap. But, you know what was a big thing in gangster rap? Was calling your gun a gat. That's early 1900s gangster movie slang. That's from the old silent film era. That's like World War I era. The 20s and 30s, we were still doing it too, but early gangster rap pulled a lot from gangster movies of the early 20th century. So, yeah. Although, I will say, I think it's pretty fucking cool for black people to steal something white people invented for once. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a good thing. But I'm not convinced that black people did steal it or even try to steal it, because the person telling me this was a white person. Why is it always a white person telling you what's offensive to black people? I mean, isn't that just a fucking bullshit white savior syndrome? Look, there are stupid people out there that will not listen to anything unless it comes from an old white man. And I have frequently gone, hey, if you need to hear this from an old white man, I'm an old white man, and here it is. But I've never pretended like I actually need to say it. It's some dumbass that needs me to say it. It's some racist dipshit that won't listen to anything unless it comes from somebody who's old enough and white enough to have an opinion. And, yeah, so that's a thing. That's a thing that happened last week. Anyway, I've been doing the Learn to Draw in 30 Days challenge from Mark Brunette. I've been doing 3 of them. He's got a Learn to Draw, which is updated for 2025. He's got a Learn to Draw Faces, which he had as of last year. And there's a Learn to Draw Characters, which he also had as of last year. And he updates all of these every so often. I think the last time he updated the characters one was over a year ago, and the last time he updated Faces was like 10 months ago. So like the end of last year. But yeah, I started doing that challenge, and I got to the second day, and I just want to kind of jump over here real quick and go, yeah, I'm not doing a great job here. I'm really kind of, when you look at the copying faces section of this, I'm just not doing very well. And I'm really kind of unhappy about that because I thought I was better at this characters thing. I really did. And it turns out I'm not. But I'm gonna stick with this. This is only 2 days, and later today I'll do the day 3 stuff. And yeah, I'm not happy with the results that are going on over here. But at the same time, I am putting in the work, and that's something that I wanted to yap about. I am very prone to wanting to skip the early steps of things, and wanting to stop working on like fundamentals and basics. I go, no, I need to move forward and do like cool stuff. You will never regret spending some more time on the fundamentals. That will never happen. It will always be helpful. It will always be useful. And you should always continue to look at lessons for beginners, because what you'll find is that the experts and the coaches and the teachers who actually go and tell people how to get good at stuff, they take beginners and they help them learn. If you take somebody like Mark Brunette, who has been teaching people for a long time and is currently teaching, he's got like 26,000 students or some such shit. This guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to lesson design. And I'm really impressed by it, because usually if I look at the lesson plans that an art coach has put together, they're not the greatest. I can't make a single suggestion to improve Mark Brunette's lesson plan. I might put things in a different order. I might put a little more focus on this area and not that area. But that's not a problem with the lessons. That's not a problem with the teaching. And because Mark has that experience with the teaching, he's going to put stuff into his lessons that you may never have seen before. Even if you've been doing this for years. Because there's stuff that I tell people that just blows their fucking mind. Like somebody will say, yeah, I've been doing this for 12 years and I still can't draw clothing folds that well. Like, how the fuck do the folds in sleeves work? I said, well, if you take a napkin and you roll it up, you can bend it. You can use that as reference. What? Yeah, like, you can take like just a paper towel. Okay, you take a paper towel and you roll it up, and then you have a sleeve, and you can bend it, and you can see where the wrinkles are. And the guy's mind is absolutely blown. I heard this years ago from like a teenager. And they were just like, yeah, you can do this, and it makes it easy, and it looks really good. And I was like, fucking hell, really? Does that actually work? And I rolled up a napkin, and I folded it, and they went, God damn it, it does work. You can just, like, make a reference like that. And that was just a teenager who couldn't afford to buy, like, life drawing lessons or a bunch of books. And they just said, what do I have available? Well, I have this. It's close. How does it look? How well does it work? It looks pretty good. It works pretty well. And that's the other thing, is that people who are just starting out and they're trying to learn something and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, they're going to stumble over brilliant shit and they're not going to know it's brilliant. A lot of the time, your intermediates are going to come across something really smart and they're going to go, well, I'm sure more experienced people already know about this. And if they're not teaching it, there's probably a reason. Like, maybe that's a bad thing and they shouldn't be doing that. You second guess yourself. And the world is full of perpetual intermediates. People that get to be okay at something and then they never become good because they don't really try to become good at anything, ever. They're okay being mediocre. And to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't complain too much if I was mediocre at drawing. But I still want to be good. You don't have to get that much better to stop being mediocre and actually be good at something. It's like, once you get there, you may as well keep going. And the important thing is to understand that there are no dues to pay to figure out some brilliant thing that is actually going to be tremendously useful to other people. A 12-year-old could think of it. A 10-year-old could think of it. Children think of brilliant things all the time. Brilliant people will frequently say, I was talking to a child and they asked a question and I went, that's a very good question. And that's how I won the Nobel Prize. So don't look down on a lesson plan because it's for beginners. And don't look down on a lesson plan because it's from beginners. Beginners will frequently tell you like a boatload of horse shit that they just made up. But sometimes there's some gold buried in that horse shit. So, watch the horse shit and laugh about it, but keep an eye out for that gold. That gold is what you're really looking for. By the end of October, if I stick with this 30-day challenge, by the end of October, I will have completed it, and I should be much better at drawing characters. And there are two things with this 30-day challenge. There are two reasons that I'm doing this. Number one is, before I started this, I was like, I might discover that I'm not as good as I thought I was at something. I have already discovered that I suck donkey balls at character drawing. I didn't think I did, but I do. So, yeah, I need to put some time in on that. And the learn how to draw thing, the part where you're just like learning the basics of drawing, and the learn how to draw faces thing, those things, I'm doing well on those at the moment. And if nothing else, doing these exercises for 30 days will communicate to me, yeah, you know what you're doing. So, yeah, I kind of think that's an important thing. Imposter syndrome is a huge, huge thing for so many people. And I don't really have an imposter syndrome problem. I just feel like the work I do is not very good. I don't feel like I'm lying to anybody or misleading anybody with my work. I just feel like it's not very good. So, yeah, I will get around to improving that by going through these lessons, by doing these things, and by like making these changes. And if I stick with this and I go through this whole 30 days, then I'm going to be done with it by by the end of the month. And by the time I get into the big November change where I'm doing videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I will be finished with this challenge, provided I don't drop it or take a break or anything like that. In fact, I should be done substantially before that. So, yeah. I am, I'm looking forward to learning just how bad I suck at art as I go through this. But, that kind of discipline of like doing a little bit of drawing every day, and it's not very long, it's like 30-40 minutes. That's all it takes. And putting that time in every single day is going to make a difference, because your brain's electrochemical, and there's a tendency to like study something and the electrical part of your brain is like, oh yeah, I got it, and you're like, awesome, and then you move on. But if you don't continue working that part of your brain, because your brain's an electrochemical engine, the chemical part takes as long as it takes to get stuff done. You can't speed up a chemical reaction. It takes as long as it takes. If you dump some baking soda and some vinegar into your little science fair volcano, it's going to erupt as long as it erupts. It's not going to speed up and slow down to suit your timetable. It's going to take as long as it takes. Man, I look back at because baking soda and vinegar volcanoes are so common in science fairs, I was thinking about my entries into the science fair when I was in school, and I just kind of sit here and go, I did not understand what constituted science. I would ask such weird, fucked up questions and do such weird, fucked up experiments, and I would come back and go, the answer is no. Which anybody in their right mind could have seen. But, yeah. I had no idea what I was doing back in school. There's so much shit that I just flat out didn't understand. And nobody even tried to explain it to me. Nobody even told me how fucked up and wrong I was. And that just blows my mind. It's like, you can be in school and people will be telling you that you're so smart and you're so talented and you can do whatever you want. And you'll go, I'm going to do something stupid that makes no sense. And they'll go, yes, go, do the stupid thing that makes no sense. Yeah. And you do the stupid thing that makes no sense, and hey, presto, it's stupid and makes no sense. And you get a B. Because you did the thing that was stupid and made no sense, and it was stupid and made no sense, and you said, this is stupid and makes no sense. And they're like, yep, sure is, sure doesn't. B. I don't understand why nobody ever communicated to me that my ideas for science fair projects were stupid and made no sense. I never asked a question that had a meaningful answer. I was like, I remember I did this one science fair experiment with mealworms. And the experiment that I did was like, do mealworms have unusual senses that are unlike the senses of other animals and insects? No. No, that's a stupid question. If they did, it would be written up somewhere. Somebody would have noticed. That's a dumb question. And nobody said, no, hold on there. We've used mealworms in science for literal centuries. If they had special senses, we would know it. They don't. That's in the literature. Nobody did that. They let me go. Are mealworms psychic? It was the 80s. I think all my teachers were on drugs. I look back at how fucking ignorant people in general were in the 1980s, and I just kind of shake my head. It's like the average person is so much smarter today than they used to be. And yet at the same time, we got a lot of truly fucking ignorant people. It's funny watching boomers and Gen Xers in the age of the smartphone, because being smart in the 70s and 80s was all about having the information in your head. You don't need to have the information in your head anymore. The information is on the internet. You just need to go and get it. So having the information in your head isn't anywhere near as useful as knowing how to find the information on the internet. Boomers and Gen Xers haven't figured that out yet. So it's like they'll sit there and they'll tell you some absolute bullshit, and you're like, let me check that. And you pull out your phone and you check it. They're like, why are you checking it? Don't you trust me? I'm checking it because it doesn't sound right. That doesn't pass the sniff test, Joe. I gotta check. Well, according to Wikipedia, you can't trust Wikipedia. I trust it better than I trust you. Fucking dumbass. You thought there was a child sex ring meeting in the basement of a pizza parlor that didn't have a basement. Yeah, I'm not going to trust you about anything, dumbass. Regardless. Rambling horseshit as usual. And, yeah, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And okay, bye.